This short video will walk you through the steps mentioned on the workflow number 3. Let's start. In our case, we also got the footprint. So we got some ancillary data that will help us locate the building more accurate. So here's our footprint. It's added. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and I'm going to create a bookmark. That will help us on the georeferencing process. Now, next step is I'm going to try see the coordinate system that this footprint has because I'm going to use it as our coordinate system for the georeferencing of the BIM file workspace. So in this case, the coordinate system is NAT 83 Harn, State Plate, Oregon, North, and it's in the international feed. And the WKID is 2913. Our next step is just going to be define the projection. So we're just going to go to geoprocessing. I'm going to type define projection, and here's our GP tool. I'm going to double click on it. For the input dataset or feature class, I'm going to browse through the BIM file workspace to the feature classes. So I'm going to pick floors, but you can pick any of the feature classes in any of the disciplines. The projection file that is generated, it applies to the BIM file workspace. So you don't have to define projection for the individual feature classes. So I'll go floors, okay. A non-coordinate system, and we know that is because if we look at our BIM file workspace, Revit file, it doesn't have a PRJ or a WLB3 file. We can do two things. You can inherit the projection that the scene has, or which is the one that we want, or you can go to the little glove here and browse for the correct projection that you have. In this case, we're just gonna inherit the one from the scene, and we're just gonna hit run. So now that the tool has run, we see that the floors are added to the table of content, the TOC, and we're just gonna go right here, and we're gonna see that now, you see now the PRJ file has been created. That's perfect. So now that we have defined the projection, so let's zoom to the floors. Click here, and this is the first floor. I'm gonna turn off the ground and the topographic. And we're gonna see that, oh, okay, building has this, which is a basement, and this, which is a sub-basement. So now we know that we need to level the ground to the first floor, which is this one. Pan around a little bit so we get a little bit better understanding of the shape. So that will help us with the georeferencing. So now that we have the floor selected, now we see that the building and manage tab are active. I'm gonna go to manage. Click Georeference. So remember the bookmark that we created on the prior steps? We're just gonna use it. Now we go back to Georeference and we're gonna go move to display. So the building shows up close where the footprint should be. Remember that this building has a sub-basement, so we need to adjust that elevation. Remember also, turn on your snapping, so we can adjust the floor to the footprint. So that's going to be kind of our first step. I'm going to go hit move, and I'm hitting control so I can adjust the anchor point. So I'm going to right there. So I can move the building around here, and I'm going to do elevate to ground. So now our building is at the ground level. Let's save for a second. And let's rotate the building again. So I'm going to move my anchor point again to that same point. And I'm going to go to rotate. I'm going to click A so I don't have to use the mouse to rotate. I'm just going to type 30 degrees, which I think so it's approximately correct. Save. And now let's kind of do the last final adjustment. So I'm gonna go back again and move my anchor point to that corner, and I'm gonna move a little bit. In this case, I'm just gonna drag it. And if you look at immediately, my footprint gets snapped to it. And I click save. And let's close the georeference. And let's pan around. And there you go. You can play a little bit more adjusting the first floor to the footprint, but I think so for this exercise, that gives you an idea how the tools work and what needs to be the steps to do a complete georeferencing. Now that we finish georeferencing the file, we'll just remove the floors, and then we're just gonna add the whole BIM file workspace to the scene.